Hey YouTube and caymanas Park Turf Fights. Welcome back to Down the Stretch. I'm your host Christopher Charlton. After a very rough and hard multi-mile program, we are back to some normalcy for Saturday, 14th of December at Caymanas Park. We have a 9-race program. Let's get right into it. The first race, it's for 5-year-olds and up, optional claimer, 180,000. Nature bred 6 years and up, numbers of 3, 5-year-olds, maidens. So this is the bottom of the barrel. 9 starters, 5 furlongs round. I don't really want to dive deep in races like this, so I've just boiled this race down to 3 horses. The 1, Dancing in the Breeze. The 7, Fiery Path. And the 9, ZI. Dancing in the Breeze seems to be in form. Last race was November 30th. For 6 furlongs, was second by 8 lengths to Prince Dominic. Had Fire Pass 7 lengths behind in that race. 5.5 furlongs, 14th of September, was fourth by 3 3/4 lengths to Absolute Blue and Noble Impulse. Both those horses I think would win if they were here. So definitely Dancing in the Breeze is here with a maximum shot, especially claiming for Akeem Grant off of the 126 pounds. The number 7, Fiery Path. Although 12 years old, this horse still has something left in him. November 2nd was second by 2.5 lengths at 5.5 to Beautiful Brand. Had last hurrah behind. Came back at 6 furlongs, up in class, 200,000. Was beaten 15 lengths into third by Prince Dominic and Dancing in the Breeze. Back here with Ramon appeared to claim off of his 126. And even though getting on there in age, still giving Fiery Path a shot. Now back down in 180. And the 9, ZI, Tevin Foster for Michael Marlowe. Also stepping down from 250. Was fourth and last by 6 3/4 lengths with top weight to 6th Avenue. And I think if 6th Avenue was here, he would win this race. So ZI definitely in it with, even though having top weight, he's the one, I think, the most busy at exercise. So ZI definitely looks like the horse I think they're going to have to beat. And if I wanted to throw somebody in for the superfecta, maybe take a chance with the 5, Shashamane Dance. The second race, the Starters Trophy. It's for native bred 2-year-old maiden special weight. 8 starters, 4 furlongs straight. I don't really like handicapping 2-year-olds because they're babies, so anybody can turn up. So I'm going to have to go off breeding or exercise reports. So I'm going to boil this race down to 4 horses. The 1, Native Flyer. The 3, Honor Prince. The 6, Enthusiasm. And the 7, Tribal Chief. Okay, the 1, Native Flyer. Successful native out of Polyflyer. Polyflyer is a mare out of Speed Stallion film director. So possibly bred for some speed here. Not doing too bad at exercise. Has some works out the gate. 4 and 48. 4 furlongs straight and 48.2 by 103.2. Not bad. So from the stable of Stephen Todd with Dane Dawkins in the saddle. Should put in a good run if he gets some of his grandsire's speed. This Native Flyer should be prominent. The 3, Honor Prince. Well bred. Burn Identity out of Awesome Lucy. So he's also bred for some speed. Tevin Foster for Robert Pearson. I think this is the one working the best. On November 16th out the gate, 4 and 47.4 by 103.2. November 23rd, 47 flat by 101 and 2. That was very good. Then came back to go 3 furlongs and 35 and 3. Last workout with Mighty Gully, 4 furlongs straight, 48.2 by 102 and 2. So definitely Honor Prince looks very forward and looks like the horse they're going to have to beat off of exercise reports. The 6, Enthusiasm. Anthony Nunes trained out Omar Walker rides. This is the first horse to race out of Stallion Wow Wow. So anxiously anticipated run from one of his offsprings. This filly is out of Noon It Is. Noon It Is produces a few horses, and she did produce a classic horse in Nuclear Noon. So she's not a great mare, but she can produce out of Yankee Gentleman. And he's not doing bad at exercise either. He has a 37, a 36, a 49.4, a 50, and a 50. So it's not pressing her too hard early, which is a good thing because she's still a baby. And her stablemate, Tribal Chief, with Mario Pearson riding. This one is out of Sunshine and Shadow out of Outrageous. I think Outrageous is also a sprinting mare. Also working well, 36, 37, 36, 35 and 4, then 50. So I think those are the main 4 that I would carry in this race. The 1, Native Flyer. The 3, Honor Prince. The 6, Enthusiasm, what was first offspring to race. The 7, Tribal Chief. If for superfecta purposes, if I wanted to put a long shot in it, I'd probably use the 8, Bad Girl Chelsea. Just the fact that she has raced twice. Her first start, she was third by 8 lengths to the speedy Miss Moneypenny in 34 and 4. Came back, horrible start at this, the break against Kimuchi and finished down the track. Has Calvin Bailey in the saddle for Howard Bailey. So for the exotics, I probably would squeeze Bad Girl Chelsea just because she has the experience. The third race, native bred 5-year-olds and up, non-loser 4, and imported 5-year-olds up, non-loser 3. 8 starters, another 5 straight. Let me see. This is a complex race to me. You have a lot of speed in this race. You have Adenosine, Legal Bomb, Traveler's Lodge, aka Storm, and this Mud Shaft. So you have a lot of speed here. 2 horses I mentioned in my horses to watch were Mud Shaft and Traveler's Lodge. Mud Shaft, as I mentioned in one of my videos, I tipped him on the last 5 shot when he made his local debut, because I caught him one time at Gulfstream Park at a big price. But definitely has our problems. Matthew Williams, he trained her at Gulfstream Park. I think she's down here to go to the breeding shed, but I think I'm going to try to get a few races out of her first. On her local debut, she had a very, very horrible start, then rushed around to be in contention for a little bit before backing out against way higher classes horses than these, against Money Market, Freedom Street. Better for that pipe opener here. This well-bred mare out of Mineshaft, out of the Athlete Alex mare, Teeterbug. Tevin Foster gets the ride now. Lasix is now on again for this Mud Shaft. So I'm expecting a much more improved run from this Mud Shaft. The next horse I like in the race is Traveler's Lodge, who I mentioned in one of my videos. Speedy Sort gets the apprentice Raman Napier for Christopher Pearson. Down the track and last at 550, Claimer against Simba the Lion, going 6.5. That's a little bit out of Traveler's Lodge depth. Come back to 5 straight now. I think he'll handle the straight better, because he has, I think his second to last win was over the straight on May 11th, beating Caveman, who's also a speedball, and she's Prado. At the exercise, back the 9th of November, worked 6 furlongs, 117, so that's very good for Traveler's Lodge. So definitely in here with a shot. The 6, aka Storm, he was one of my horses to watch that came back and was beaten by a nose by a special gift, then went up in that same 550 Claimer against Simba the Lion, was way out of it, as again the distance was a little too long for him. Radish Roman gets the ride for Rowan Matty here, aka Storm, again should come in with a good run over the straight. Last time over the straight was 4th to another wave, so definitely aka Storm I think has a shot here. And if the pace cracks up front, the horse I'm expecting to be finishing the best is Principal Tiffany, recent back-to-back winner, and non-loser of 2, and then went up to non-loser 3, won by a shorthead over Blue Sky. Not beaten much, but when stepping up in class at 5.5 furlongs, was 4th by 7 lengths to Special Gift and aka Storm. Much better for that race at this level. So I think if the pace comes back, Principal Tiffany at 111 pounds, I think will be the horse finishing the best. So those are the 4 I'm going to work with. The 3, Mud Shaft, the 4, Traveler's Lodge, the 6, aka Storm, and the late kicking Principal Tiffany. The fourth race, the Warzone Sprint Trophy, native bred 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds, non-runners of 4 and imported 3-year-olds and up, non-runners of 3, 10 starters, 5.5 furlongs, this quick sprint. And boy, do we have a speed fest here. This is my most interesting race of the day, this fourth race. I'm going to have to, I'm rule this race down to 5 horses. The winner must come from them, but I'm just going to tell you the reasons why I like these 5. The 1, Trust Fund Baby. The 2, She's That Girl. The 3, Midnight Flight. The 6, Teflon Don. And the 8, Undisclosed Location. Okay, Trust Fund Baby. The Cardinals for Anthony Nunes. On a hat-trick of wins, hasn't been seen since the 3rd of August when winning non-runners of 2 for fillies only, with Radish Roman in the saddle. Impressive win, made all the running, beating Firecracker and Main Mistress. Main Mistress came back to win a 7 furlong race in 125. So this Trust Fund Baby has never been headed in a race. A horse has never led Trust Fund Baby. So it's going to be interesting seeing coming off the race, and definitely going to have speed to contend with. Beat a speed horse at exercise recently. Beat Legit Boss in a 4 furlong gallop, 50-1. So that's an easy workout, because I know both of those horses probably can go 47 with ease. So it was an easy work. But this horse has never been headed there. A horse has never been in front of this horse from first call. He has lost the first 3 starts, but one is last 2. But coming off the rest, definitely going to have some speed to contend with here. Let's see if she can continue to be the headliner for the majority of the race. The next one we're looking at is She's That Girl, a horse we definitely know has speed, and she has displayed it in her last 3 starts. Led all the way until the last start, where she was beaten at 6 furlongs. I think it was maybe a half a furlong little out of her realm. Dane Darkin now gets back the ride from T. Foster. Was caught in the slap by Teflon Don. She had a fairly easy lead, I would say. She turned for home comfortable, but Teflon Don, measured her up and caught her. But another good run expected from the She's That Girl, especially stepping back down to 5.5 furlongs, and definitely will keep Trust Fund Baby company on the headlines. Next one we'll be looking at is the 3, Midnight Flight. Very interesting horse here from Byron Davis. Can sit off the pace, but definitely has pace, because last winners over the 5 straight, beating Prince Aman and Pope's Lady, 2 very speedy horses, and in that race Midnight Flight made all the running to within 59-3. Came back in November, that was in August 10th. Came back 3 months after, so maybe we took a little break. Didn't display that much speed in that same race with She's That Girl and Teflon Don. Was early up until the top of the lane, and then faded. Probably needed that run. Came back 2 weeks later over the straight 5 course, and was right with the leaders, Commander Z and El Rapido, the entire trip, only beating a length in that race. So definitely better for the run, and definitely going to be in the thick of things throughout. Last word coming into this race was 6 furlongs and 117, beating Crypto Girl. So Midnight Flight, a big run is expected from this Midnight Flight. Then we're going to look at Teflon Don from the Jason DaCosta stable. Tevin Foster has the ride. He gets the ride from Victor Sanchez. Last run was at 7 furlongs. A little bit stretching out against the vastly improved Supremacy. Before that, came from way off the pace to beat She's That Girl at 6 furlongs. Just before that, over the 5 round, was no threat in that race. But here's the thing in that race. Teflon Don was hidden badly in that race, fell back, and then was still staying on to only be beaten 7 lengths back. She's That Girl turned the farm around when they met again to beat her. So definitely Teflon Don is on the improve. If you look on November 24th, had a nice 5.5 gallop in 106.4. So Teflon Don sound, fit, ready once again, and will be stalking the leaders. And if they crack, which can happen because this race is filled with speed, Teflon Don can make it another win. And the Last horse I like in the race is the 8, undisclosed location. Another horse from Anthony Nunes. Mamdine gets the ride now as Cardenas has opted to go for Trust Fund Baby. But even though up in class, this undisclosed location, Stark, Pope's Lady, and Stark Irish Wish had Pope's Lady behind in the speed match. So definitely shows speed and won very easily over Pope's Lady. Pope's Lady came back to win. 5.5 should be right up undisclosed locations alley. And although up in class, I expect him to be one close enough if good enough and show that he has improved a lot. Yeah, Nunes also has another horse in the race, which is Queen of Soul. I think beat undisclosed location last time they met at exercise. So that's interesting to note that Nunes has another horse with Walker in the saddle. Not a good run on last, but before that, she was third to She's That Girl. So, interesting horse to squeeze there in your exotic bets. But for me, it's the 5 I picked before. The 1, Trust Fund Baby. The 2, She's That Girl. The 3, Midnight Flight. The 6, Teflon Don. And the 8, Undisclosed Location. Not a race I would really want to buy because it's so competitive. I might take a chance and gamble out of Quinella, like Midnight Flight and Teflon Don, if the speed horses crack. The 5th race, native bred 4 years and up, non-reserve 3, and imported 4 years and up, non-reserve 2. 12 starters, 5.5 furlongs. This is a very, very tough contest. In my opinion, I've boiled this race down to 5 horses. The 3, Kismet. The 5, Equinox. The 6, Princess Aquila. The 9, Crucial Alexia. And the 12, Golden Syrup. I'm just going to give you the reasons why I like those. Not necessarily saying that one of these is going to win, but I hope the winner comes from this bunch. But this is a very, very competitive race. Okay, first up, it's going to be the 3, Kismet. I've picked this horse on several occasions. This horse tends to jump bad sometimes and just doesn't seem to get it right. And I know this horse potentially can run a lot better. This Kismet from the stables of Stephen Todd. Shavan Townsend has the ride. 5.5 furlongs should be ideal for Kismet. Last time over the trip was 6 by 7 lengths to Speedball Sugar. Kismet is off the pace, sits off the pace and runs on. So when he jumps bad, he tends to not run a good race because he has a lot of running to do, and he's already a horse that is a stretch runner. So he has to come out of those gates. She has to come out of those gates cleanly to get a good position and have a shot. But I'm giving her another shot to run a better race here at a good price. The 5, Equinox, 3 starts, 2 wins. Last run, outsped, ran up into Speedball, Acknowledge Me, and Equinox is a speed horse. Well, up in class there, non-reserve 3 couldn't handle the pace of Acknowledge Me and was beaten in 11 by 26 lengths. Abigail Abel rode this horse on the 3 starts that she ran. She made all the run in her first 2 starts over the straight, venturing around the bend now for the first time. Busy at exercise, so pretty sure she's sound. This horse came here in utero. Interesting to see. Tevin Foster now gets the ride, so they might mean business here. They said finish layman last, but she's at the exercise track, so I'm pretty sure she's sound. So interesting to see how Equinox performs going around the bend. The 6, Princess Aquila, I think that's the horse they're going to have to beat. Anthony Nunes with Linton Stedman, 119 pounds. So fit Linton Stedman, very, very good jockey. Probably the most consistent horse in the race, Princess Aquila. 2 seconds and a third in the last 3 starts. Last time over this trip was beaten a length and a quarter by Here Comes Doc coming from off the pace. Princess Aquila was stalking the pace. Her last start over the straight ran up into Digital Light and Uncle Nub. So very fit coming into this race, and definitely I think is going to be one of those fighting out the finish. The 9, Crucial Alexia, from the stable of Carl Anderson. Apprentice Richard Henry gets the ride. A no-show in the last 3 starts. Last win was back in July at 7 furlongs, beating Joe Blaine and Workout Crew. Before that, at 6.5, was third to Hedgecraft and Sugar Sugar. So if Crucial Alexa can find back that farm today, I'm expecting a good run, a very good run from this Crucial Alexia, stalking the pace and trying to make a run at them in the stretch. And the 12 horse Golden Syrup from the stables of Anthony Nunes. Rudolph Page has the ride. Beaten by 12 lengths and last by Digital Light in that same race with Princess Aquila. Just before that was 5th by 6 lengths, 6 3/4 lengths to Sugar Sugar. Before that was 3rd by 12 lengths to Acknowledge Me, but was only 3/4 lengths off of Princess Aquila, who I said is the horse they're going to have to beat here. So as a betting man, if the price looks good on Golden Syrup, I might consider a wager on this Golden Syrup to turn the farm around. He's busy at exercise, so pretty sure Golden Syrup is fit and is worth a little wager at a good price. So those are the 5 I like. The 3, Kismet. The 5, Equinox. The 6, the horse they're going to have to beat, Princess Aquila. The 9, Crucial Alexia. And the 12, Golden Syrup. The 6th race, 3-year-olds and up, optional claimer, 400,000. Native bred 5-year-olds and up, non-reserve 3, 6-year-olds and up, non-reserve 4, 12 starters, 5 furlong straight. Okay, this is a sticky liquor race. Boil it down to 5. The 3, General Chief. The 7, Phonometer. The 9, My Sunshine. The 11, Stick It On. And the 12, Capture My Ship. Okay, General Chief. Defeated last 2 starts by a short head and a head. So, knocking at the door, but, it looks like I'm going to have to try and kick the door open because they're not opening it. Radish Roman gets back the ride here for Spencer Chung. Last time over the straight was demolished, 6 by 14 lengths to Ava Jalen. But I think, the 5 straight should suit him, especially if he gets a pace in front of him, which he might get. He might get a pace in front of him today. You have some speedy horses in the race. You have Sudden Flight if he's fit. You have Cappuccino, Capture My Ship, so you might have a nice pace in front of him. So if they decide to falter in the stretch, it should suit General Chief, as long as Roman doesn't decide to drift from the 3 path all the way to the stands with the big weight in his back. If he just keeps a straight course properly, General Chief will finish strong and probably finally kick that door open. The 7, Phonometer. Shaban Thorns here, 126 pounds, he claims. This horse loves the straight. Last 2 wins came over the 4 furlong straight and the 5 furlong straight at this level. Beat From Sheer to Ben and last time out at 4.5 was beaten by Speedy Queensland. No one could get close to Queensland in that race, and Queensland ramped it. He was only 2 and maybe 2.5 lengths off of Sticky Down in that event. Expect Phonometer to get a better run here because no Lone Speed is going to be here like Queensland that day, so should be staying on strong in the finish. The 9, My Sunshine, was one of the horses recently in that race with Tekapunt. That race we'll all remember. That was back in the class above this, 550, only beaten a length and 3/4 by Tekapunt in that race at 6 furlongs. Last time over the straight was back in April, 4th by 8 3/4 lengths to Prince Aman, Sonogram's General. Any one of those horses in this race wins. So has some stepping down in class here. His last one was non-reserve 2, 8 by 12 lengths to undisclosed location. So this is a big step down in class for this My Sunshine. Samantha Fletcher gets the ride, so he claims to already coming in the race light with 117 for Tensan Chung. Active at the exercise track. And Morning Line says 8-1, which I think is insane. But definitely, I think this is the horse they're going to have to beat, stepping down here, unless something is not right with her. The next horse is Stick It On, the 11. Sticky Dan, fourth and last by 9 lengths to Dodges Link, the speedy Dodges Link. Had no one to go with Dodges Link, so Sticky Dan didn't get a pace set up for him. Before that was second by 3 1/4 lengths to Bad Investment at 7.5. Same thing in that race. No one went with Bad Investment, so Sticky Dan didn't get a pace to run at. Over the straight and the time before that at 4.5 furlongs, though, in the same Queensland race, he was the one finishing the best in that race. So it looks like Sticky Dan might prefer the straight run and gets the bustling Phil Parchment, who gets the best out of him. So Sticky Dan, even though 15-1 morning line, definitely I think Sticky Dan will be finishing strong in the finish. And the 12, Capture My Ship, the 10-year rule. If this was 2 years ago, Capture My Ship would walk on this field. Possibly the fastest horse in the race, even though 10 years old. Tevin Foster has the ride here for Michael Spencer. And you can't sleep on Capture My Ship. I think he's the horse they're going to have to catch, even though he's so old. He's been trotting. But he hasn't trotted. His last time at the track was October. So possibly they're swimming him to keep him fresh and fit. So yeah, I think he's the horse they're going to have to catch. But those are my 5. The 3, General Chief. The 7, Phonometer. The 9, My Sunshine. The 11, Sticky Dan. And the 12, Capture My Ship. Not sure if I want to buy in this race. You don't know who is the soundness or who is having problems. But if I had to buy in the race, I'd probably take a chance on the 9, My Sunshine. The 7th race. It's native bred 3-year-old maidens, 10 starters, another 5 furlongs straight. I'm boiling this down to just 3 horses. So if I get beat here, that's just how it goes. I only see the race coming down between 3. The 4, Radam, the 8, Lair Sarsuta, and the 9, Military Light. Okay. Radam, expected to win his last 3 starts, basically. Was second, third, and third. Over 6.5 furlongs, was second by 2.5 lengths to Galloping Develos. Had Military Light 10 lengths behind in that race. Came back at 5 furlongs round. Ran up into Speedy Chinita Estrella. In both those races, the horse that won the race had Lone Speed. So Military Light didn't really have a pace to run at. The last time out, though, was at 6.5 furlongs, where Radam decided to test the pace, and Blood Moon was saved and ran through, while Radam was trying to must fight with Tornado Steel. So I didn't think that's how Radam likes to run. I think he likes to just stalk and then make his move in the turn. But I think they went a little too fast, too early and last, so his run petered out. This time around, might get a pace in front of him again, and as long as he doesn't try to mix it up with Kensia and Lady Sarasuta. If he sits and stalks, I think Radam will come out right there at the death. So this is another Anthony Nunes horse. So this is the 3rd Anthony Nunes horse I'm giving a good shot so far. The 8, Lady Sarasuta. That was my selection. And last, beaten a length and a half by Dream to Reality over the 4 furlongs straight. So comfortable here over the straight course. Before that, her last good run was a 3rd head to La Vida. Bolted at the 6 when going 6 furlongs back in November against Golden Lawyer and Dream to Reality. But so it's definitely more comfortable over the straight. Samantha Fletcher still has the ride here for Fitzgerald Richards. Expecting Lady Sarasuta to jump off early, and try to escape the horses that are going to try to run at her late. So definitely I think she has a shot. Military Light, the 9 horse, Radish Roman for Gary Griffiths. Only 4 starts. First start out back in November was 5th by 10 lengths to Happy Force. Came back at 6.5. Was 3rd by 13 lengths to Galloping Develos. That race where Radam was 2nd. Then the next start at 5 furlongs round was only beaten 3 lengths by Chinita Estrella, coming from off the pace. And as I said, there was no one pressing Chinita Estrella in that race, so he did very well to close up for that 2nd. And in his last start at 6.5 against the Blood Moon, put in a no-show there. I don't know if something went wrong in that event, or maybe 6.5 is just a little too much for military light. But now, over the straight course, I think this is the kind of race that he might enjoy. He's drawn on the outside and should be finishing up strong. They have now put on the figure 8. So, interesting to see how this military light performs now, even though carrying 126 pounds. So, I think the race comes down to one of those three. The 4 Radam, the 8 Lady Sarasuta, and the 9 military light. Interesting horse to note, horse making a debut, the 10 Hail the Queen out of Ian Roberts stable with Yuval Pinnock up. This very well bred daughter of Hedge Fund out of Seguro Oro. Seguro Oro, I think, was the sister of Ombre. So decent bloodline there. Hasn't seen much things at exercise, so not sure, but just interesting to note breeding wise, this Hail the Queen. The 8th. This is the Miracle Cure Sprint. Native bred 3-year-old, non-reserve 2, fillies, 13 starters, 5.5 furlongs. And this is a tough one. This is a tough one. I boiled it down to 5 horses, and I hope the winner is in this 5. The 3, the Miracle Angel. The 5, Hit and Run. The 8, Social Mischief. The 10, Himaya, and the 13, Adira. Okay. The Miracle Angel, Christopher Mamdine up for Robert Pearson. Morning line 12-1. That's a big price for a horse that's fairly consistent. This the Miracle Angel, very consistent. Last start was at the 5 furlong straight, beaten 4th by 5.5 lengths to Pope Lady, Irish Wish, and Pineapple. Very good run there. Mamdine secures a ride again. Before that was 5th by 4 lengths to Hotbread Scammer, Indestructible, Irish Wish. And before that was 4th to Prince Aman, Undisclosed Location, A Breath of Fresh Air. And before that in September was 3rd by 2 lengths to Miss Cherry, Indestructible. So this is a very consistent and fit horse. I think this is the first time going 5.5 furlongs. He mostly runs over the straight. I think the Miracle Angel has a shot, not the fastest horse, but seems to be a stalker. So I think he's prepared for this race. I think Robert Pearson might be coming for a good run from this Miracle Angel. The 5 from the Jason DeCosta camp, Hit and Run with Tevin Foster up. Through that last race out against Queen of Soul, something obviously went wrong that back in September. As you can see, she has been put down and brought back now fresh, working well. On December 8th, galloped 5.5 in 109 by 102 and 3. Before that last run, she was 5th by 7 lengths to Trust Fund Baby. Tried to hook up with Trust Fund Baby early. Big mistake. And finished back 5th by 7 lengths. Before that, was also early in the pace against another Speedball, Motivate Me Baby, was 4th by 6 lengths. So this Hit and Run comes here with some good credentials, working very well. And Tevin Foster in the saddle for Jason DeCosta. A very good run expected from Hit and Run. The 8, Social Mischief, another horse from the stable of Robert Pearson, the Cardenas, now gets the ride. Last time out over the 5 straight was 6 by 8 3/4 lengths in that Pope's Ladies race. Last win was over the 5 straight, beating Gelroy and General. Busy at exercise, cantering, seems to be very, very sound, but just the fact that Dick Cardenas now gets the ride here at a price, looking for a good run from the Social Mischief. The 10, the other Jason DeCosta entrant, Himaya, Abigail Abel up, claiming 3 off for 120. Last time out at 6 furlongs was 12 lengths 7 to Tiffany Blue, Smart Trick, so a lot of speed was there. Before that, a fair race, 4th by 8 lengths to Francis and Adira, was very, very prominent early before being outsped in the stretch. More comfortable at this distance. As you can see back in October, 5.5 furlongs, 3rd by 6 lengths to Immeasurable Joy and Francis there. So a very fit Himaya here. Again, should run her usual honest race. And the 13, Lady Adira. Not Lady Adira, Adira. Adira, Radish Roman for Carlton Cunningham. Second and last to Francis was 4 lengths in front of Battle Angel, who came back to win. Before that, you can toss that run before that against Supremacy going 7 furlongs. Was way out of depth, and Supremacy is just a way out of class horse. Was third to Queen of Soul and Immeasurable Joy going 6 furlongs. So right here, looking at it, it looks like Adira is the horse you're going to have to beat. So yeah, I'm running it after those 5. The 3, the Miracle Angel. The 5, Hit and Run. The 8, Social Mischief. The 10, Himalaya. And the 13, Adira. I'm not going to step out on a limb here and pick any one of those because it's, Jason has 2 good horses in the race and Robert Pearson has 2 price horses in the race. So I think the winner comes from one of these. The 9th and final, it's the Ahufa Sprint. 3 years and up, overnight allowance, 14 starters, 6 furlongs in this very, very competitive race. Ultra competitive race. And the distance just make it even that more competitive. The 6 furlongs, guy, it's just a little bit over snappy, and it's going to be very competitive. But I given I worked out to 5, and I hope the winner comes from one of these. The 2, Freedom Street. The 3, Digital One. The 5, Bootylicious. The 10, Jordan's Reign, and the 14, Divine Force. Okay, Freedom Street. Laris Allen still has this ride for Patrick Lynch. Throw that last race out, 9 furlongs and 25 yards, is way out of Freedom Street depth. I think this race was merely a exercise gallop for Freedom Street, just going through the motion. Still ran a good 158 after beating 21 lengths, and still ran 158, which is pretty good for 925. But before that, 5.5 furlongs, only beaten a length by Money Market, and She's a God Gift behind. She's a God Gift ran second in that exact 9 furlong and 25 yard race. So, make what you want of that. So, Freedom Street, I'm giving him a good shot here. Definitely has the class. He's definitely an overnight allowance horse. But, you have to be curious about this overnight allowance, because when you win, you have to step up to open allowance. So you really have to have a good chance when you go up if you want to earn. So, have an open mind about that. The 3, Digital One, imported horse, Dane Dawkins for Gary Sobrati. Very consistent horse. Doesn't run a bad race. Last time out at 5.5 was third by 5 lengths to Perfect Brew and Money Market. Going 5.5 was with the pace. I think this Digital One prefers to start the pace than go with the pace. But that's left to be seen in this race. Was scratched lame on the 9th of November. So it was rested, freshened, back at the exercise track. Not doing nothing too exciting, but shows that he's sound. They've taken off the visors off of him now. So back to when he runs without anything on his face. The one time he ran without anything on his face, he was third by 5 lengths. The Easy as ABC was way out of class at a mile there. So I think he might run well without the visors. Very light, 113 pounds. Good run expected from this Digital Life once he doesn't get too involved in a speed duel. The 5, Bootylicious, stepping down in class now. It hasn't run since November 9th, which is fairly recent, but was in the class above. No, I wouldn't even say it's the class above. It was really a race where it was a featured race. So it was mostly overnight allowance horses in that race, and took off super fast. Fractions going a mile. A mile is not really Bootylicious thing, and also faltered in the stretch. But back here at 6 furlongs now. The last time at 6 was beaten by a horse that's an open allowance horse, Ability, and I Am Fred, who is a top class horse. So those credentials alone, Bootylicious looks like the horse you're going all have to beat. You're going to have to catch her, and you're going to have to beat her. Working well, Bootylicious definitely the horse you have to beat. The 10, Jordan's Reign, who I would say is the back class of the race. The Cardenas for Peter John Passad. The 6-year-old Geldin. Last one is in July, when beaten by top class runner Is That a Fact by 20 lengths. So something definitely went wrong there, because we haven't seen him since. Before that, though, in May, He was a winner over the straight, beating KP Charles and Duke. So definitely having his problems, but is seen at exercise, so seems to be very sound. Does have that back class. Remember back in 2022 was second to Mahogany, you know, and was in front of Excessive Force, who won the first Mute Mile. So definitely has a back class, just depending on how fit he is and how sound he is. But should be in here with a shot once he's right. And the 14 horse was a horse, a highly thought of American, this Divine Force, Ian Spence for Philip Fiani. Fourth and last to Further and Beyond back in May, and Mahogany. So that's a very good run there at 7.5 furlongs. Before that was 17 lengths off of Desert of Malibu at 6.5. Had a win back in February at a mile, beating the head cornerstone. So very experienced here. Definitely has the class of these. And but coming off a long rest. At exercise, galloping well, some nice works, and they have taken off the figure 8. So I don't know if this is just a test run for this Divine Force. So we'll see how he performs, but definitely a horse to look at in this race as well. So those are my 5 horses for this race: the 2 Freedom Street, the 3 Digital One, the 5 Bootylicious, the 10 Jordan's Reign, and the 14 Divine Force. I think the winner comes from one of these, but just make you know, Bootylicious is the horse you're going to have to catch and the horse you're going to have to beat. They go too fast, you might get Freedom Street coming at them strong in the lane, and the very fit Digital One, this might be the perfect race for him because the back class horses, you know, coming off rest. But I hope the winner comes from one of those. So guys, I hope you have good luck, and as usual, be safe.